Hi there Off the Rails fans, this is Louise with you from Timeless Craft Mama, and today I'm sharing a scrapbook layout process video created for our May Moodboard challenge. So my layout is moments captured, and we've given you this really fun, challenging moodboard to work with this month. So what I decided to do was break down the moodboard into themes. So could you create with colour? Could you create with like a dark sort of colour? It's more of a dark mood board than it is a light mood board. Obviously we've got fire in there. What I ended up coming up with was that I knew I had some photos in my stash of my boys in a fire truck. So I've used the photo as the inspiration for the page that I'm going to create. And what I'm going to do is sort of use the colours, so it's that yellow, orange, red kind of feeling that you get from the mood board in my actual page. So I've gone through my stash and I've collected a couple of elements, and just having a look around, starting on white cardstock. Even though the mood board had quite a dark feel, I wanted to show you that you could actually create something light and bright, even if, you know, that sort of dark layout wasn't your particular style. So, you know, some people will look at the mood board and they'll go, yeah, black background, pop of orange, things like that. So what we want to do is to challenge your crafty thoughts and to have you come up with something that really you know, is outside your normal scope of creativity. So for this page I am staying within sort of my preference, but I wanted to show you the way that you could interpret the mood board. Now I've got this sort of diagonal cluster with a little bit of washi tape down the side. I've picked out a Charms Creations star to go on my layout as well, and I've created the cluster with the title. So they're kind of like the most challenging areas of creativity for me, and then I work on a background. So I sort of started with some stamps from my stash, and I knew that I wanted to add some color to the background, but other than that I really had no idea where I was going with this. So I could have done packaging technique, I could have done the splatters, but in the end I let my stamps be the inspiration. You know, I found this sort of watermelon, there's a flower, we've got some of the arrows there as well, a couple of little bees, nice and fun, but you know, really creating that sort of interesting background to the layout. Now, because I'm using permanent ink, that's what's going to actually allow me to colour over the top. So I'm going to pull out my Colour Shimmer Dusts, which I already have activated in this palette and all labelled. And then what they do is they dry out, and then you reactivate them with water when you need them. And what I wanted to achieve was, you know, not a clean colouring of that stamped background. I really wanted it to sort of go outside the lines, almost look like I'd added the colour first and then stamped over the top. So it's not, you know, it's not designed in my mind to be a neat layout, but you can sort of see what the idea was as it progresses in this video. Now it actually, with the black gesso here, adding some splatters, that was actually left over from another project that I was working on. So I decided since I had it, I'd add a little bit of black splatter into the background of this page that I was working on. Now, I initially was going to leave some of the stamping plain and just use the yellow in the background sort of per the mood board, but I decided that I was actually going to colour again in this sort of messy outside the lines way that I've done with the arrows, all the other elements on the background of the page. So I'm also using the Colour Shimmer Dust in Candy and then Paris as well. So a little bit of red, a little bit of green, a little bit of yellow, a couple of splatters as well. That all just helps tie everything in together. Now my cluster, I have gone ahead off camera and stuck that together, and I'm going to pop some cardboard behind it as well, just to help elevate it a little bit. Now my little thankful for you stamp doesn't really stamp that well, so I actually use a pen just to colour in the areas that sort of don't get that thick black stamp, just so it looks even across the page. And finally, I'm going to pop a date, month, and a little bit of doodling around the border just to help finish the page and bring it all together. So that's my take on the May Off the Rails mood board challenge. I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks so much for watching, and if you haven't done already, don't forget to subscribe.